In just about every screenplay, there's this beat near the end of Act 2 called the bad guys close in. Sometimes, like in our story, it's actual bad guys. Sometimes it's other antagonistic forces. But it's always followed by an all is lost moment, then a dark night of the soul, then you break into Act 3. In Scripture's story, the bad guys close in begins on Holy Thursday at the Last Supper. You know the scene. Everybody's on one side of the table, soft glow Jesus, Clairol hair. It's become this really syrupy image. But what's really going on is terrifying. If you're actually at that dinner, you're like, all right, Jesus, we're alone now. What the hell is going on? Let's recap. We got here Sunday, Palm Sunday, and it was awesome. Monday, Tuesday, you're in top form, tearing those religious and political leaders to shreds. Then you start referencing your death? Then Wednesday, you're just cryptic and confusing, and we still don't have a plan. So all right, it's Thursday. We're alone. Roman soldiers have been glowering down at us from towers around town all week long, and we need to know what's going on. Our lives are on the line. We deserve to know. It's the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is a meal you eat with your sandals on and your loins girded, your tunic pulled up and tied around your legs so you're ready to fight or flee from the Pharaoh, or Pilate, or Herod, or Caesar. But Jesus does the opposite. He starts taking off people's shoes and washing their feet like a servant. Judas is like, I knew it. I knew I'd show up to this thing and it'd be another one of Jesus' poetic little theater pieces and he'd keep us all in the dark. That's exactly what's happening. Judas looks around at his friends and he pities them for still falling for it. Now, back on the rebel shores of Galilee, all of Jesus' poetry and theater, healing, love, and dreams of the kingdom of God, where God's on the throne, it was beautiful. But here in Jerusalem, under the blood-red cloak of Rome, it was getting thin. The disciples deserved to know what was going on. For the past year, they'd been haunted by nightmares of John's severed head, and Jesus didn't care. At least not enough to let him in on the plan. And it was worse than that. Everybody knew Passover had blown up before, resulting in a massacre of 3,000 Jews, 2,000 Jewish rebels crucified, and 30,000 Jews sold into slavery. Jesus couldn't stop something like that from happening. He was no king. Moses didn't set his people free by washing feet. David didn't claim his crown by washing feet. Neither did Saul, Solomon, Cyrus, Caesar. Nobody did. That's not what kings do. The room smelled like sadness and fear. They had given their lives to Jesus. Who's the betrayer, really? Judas never signed up for a suicide mission. Did you? Would you? Judas took 30 silver coins to turn Jesus in. It's about 4 months' day labor's wages. It wasn't nearly enough to pay him back for all the time he'd given Jesus, but it was something. And it gave him a chance to hand Jesus over during a private moment, maybe even prevent a bloodbath. And it turned out Judas was right. It was a suicide mission, because the only weapon Jesus was willing to use was love. As you know, Jesus got tried in a religious kangaroo court. He got mocked, tortured, humiliated, crucified by the empire, and the disciples run for their lives. All is lost. And Mary's heart breaks at the foot of the cross.